Brendan, it's Ian Stringer in the commentary box. I hope you're able to hear us up here. Congratulations, an incredible win. You've said recently that your players played young. Today, did you play with experience and discipline and what you've been asking for when you gave those reactions?
Yeah, I thought it was an outstanding team performance, Ian. We spoke about it yesterday. I've said that all teams are looking for consistency this year, but one thing that we certainly have, and I mentioned it during the week to you guys, that we never lose enthusiasm when we lose a game. We do our work, we go away, and then we arrive into playing against a team that have been outstanding, especially at home and in the counter attack. But I thought our performance level was very, very good, and I thought we thoroughly deserved to win it.
Performance of the season, do you think, Brendan?
Well, we've had a lot of really good performances, but I think in terms of the strategy of the game, everyone, Jose's absolutely amazing in terms of the tactical side, and you've seen how his team has been. I think what was good for us, we learned from where we were 6 months ago here when we were 3-0 down inside half hour. So it was going to be important that we could impose our way of playing in the game, but also manage their counter attack. And I don't think if we had any counter-attacks against us. So that's a great tribute to the players, how focused they were in our game plan, but also playing how we want to play, which is getting the ball and having rhythm. But also having players back obviously helps. We had a lot of players out missing this season. So having certain profiles of players back allowed us to put in an outstanding performance.
How was Timothy Castagne for you today, Brendan? Because he looked outstanding, and on him, if you wouldn't mind, when you've answered that, how is he? I know he came off on the hour. Was that always the plan for him?
Yeah. It's so frustrating because these guys, they're so good, and he was great for us, and you want to keep them on. But it's a season where we've tried to manage the squad. The plan for him is to get an hour, and hopefully he came through okay, and which he did do.
Jamie Vardy's injury okay as well, Brendan? Was that just the usual kind of impingement on his pelvis that you've talked to us about before?
Yeah, that same injury, but we've got a week now, Ian, which is really nice. We haven't had too many of them up until now, so I'll give him a chance to recover and hopefully be okay for next weekend.
A word on your decision-making today, Brendan, if you wouldn't mind, because your press was quite clearly important and pressing in key areas, but your decision-making and the ball, and it just seemed that the decision-making seemed to have been upped and improved, and it all clicked today. Yeah, I think it's important. I think we showed real good balance in our game. People have asked me during the week about the style and identity, but I've always said any good team can do a bit of everything. And I think we showed that we can press the game, we can set off the game, and we can take the ball, we can work the ball up into the final third, but we can also be a threat in counter-attack. And I thought that both halves were different. I thought we showed a really high level on the ball, working our way through, and deservingly got in front in the first half. Second half, we could control the game a little bit more without it. But when we had it, we still had some great moves, and maybe that decision-making just in the final pass a few times could have allowed us to get in and score one or two more. But overall, it was a very good performance. A word on VAR. Your penalty obviously was given after the half-time whistle. It looked like a penalty all day, quite clearly. But the one on James Maddison seemed really, really hard, because obviously the ball from James just in the control from James to control it initially and then put it away. VAR had a thing or two to say. Any complaints or any praise indeed, Brendan, for VAR today?
Well, yeah, no, I've always said VAR isn't the issue. It's the interpretation of it. But I think both was obviously correct. I think the penalty was that. We counter-pressed the ball, and then we Wesley gets in front of the marker and he knocks him over. So it was a clear penalty, and Jamie finishes it really coolly. The second that James has won, it's very, very unfortunate. It must have been such a fine line, but if he's offside, he's offside. So we have to accept it, but it was unfortunate.
And you go into Christmas second in the Premier League, Brendan. When you come out of Christmas, do you believe there's more to come from your team?
Yeah, I think if you look at the likes of our players returning, Ian, Timothy Castagne today, who's been out for a long time. Daniel Amarte as well, coming back, was great.
Soyuncu will be back within the next week as well. So he'll be available for Manchester United or Crystal Palace. So yeah, the players up until this point, they've done great. A European campaign and lots of injuries, but they've kept their enthusiasm, kept the spirit, and like today, they've kept the quality. So a very pleasing opening third of the season, but still so much work to do.
Finally, from me, I know you're a humble man, but will you allow yourself a little bit of praise? It's taken 8 attempts, but you've beaten a Jose Mourinho side.
Well, at least you won't have to ask anymore on that one. And listen, I've got a huge respect for Jose's incredible tactician and what he's won in the game. So you know that when you beat one of his teams, you've had to really work. And but no, I thought tactically the players were exceptional. We've seen Tottenham all season and how dangerous they are and how difficult they are to play against. And I thought we nullified that threat, really well. And like I say, we could play our football also, which was pleasing.
I know I said final one, Brendan. Apologies. A Christmas message for the fans, maybe, because I don't think we'll speak to you before the big day. Clearly, it's been a testing one for many, many Leicester City fans, a testing year. I wonder whether you've got a Christmas message for the Foxes fans this afternoon.
Well, it is. I think that we very much miss them, but I think the most important thing is that everyone stays healthy and safe over this Christmas period. Try and enjoy your Christmas day with as many of your family as you can, and we hope that sometime in 2021 we'll be back together and they can cheer on this team that are hopefully doing them proud at this stage.
Well done today, Brendan. Thanks for your time. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Ian. You too. Thank you.
Okay, Ian, please.
Hi, Brendan. How are you?
Hi, Mus.
Can I ask you whether you thought the referee should have given the penalty without having to use VAR? I mean, he was stood right in front of it.
Sorry, say that again?
Do you think the referee should have given the penalty without having to use VAR? It was an obvious decision, and he was stood right in front of it.
I did look at. I think sometimes the speed of the game it can catch an official out, and the game carries on. But I think that's the safety net that the referees have now, that they can go back to it, look at it, and I think everyone could see it was a clear penalty.
And football's about scoring goals. I know you said that if James Maddison is offside, then it's offside, but it did deprive the game of one of its most exceptional moments of artistry when he brought the ball down and scored. Which let's face it, from my point of view, if you agree, it sort of VAR is killing the game by taking those moments away from us.
Listen, it's obviously deemed offside. I'd love to agree with you. I certainly agree with you on the quality of the goal. It was a wonderful pass. James has made the run in behind, and just his first touch to take him forward and then finish with that quality is, it's such a wonderful finish. So it was a shame that it wasn't a goal. But if the guys in the studio deem it not a goal, then we have to accept that.
And my final one, I know you're a modest man, so I can kind of think of what your answer is going to be anyway before I ask it. If you can replicate your away form at home, you can win this title, can't you?
No, listen, we've got such a long road to go, Miss. I think we're a young team. I think everyone this season's searching for that consistency, but I think we've shown in big games a big mentality, and we've shown in other games where we need to improve. So. But that's my job to continue working with the players and our coaching staff. But at this point, with a third of the season gone virtually, the team's in a really good place. Players returning back from injury, and we'll continue to work and see what it takes us at the end of the season.
Have a great Christmas.
You too. Cheers, miss. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, John Cross, please.
Hello, Brendan. Good to see you.
Hiya, John.
I was just going to ask you, if I may, a little bit more about Jamie Vardy, really. I mean, he's just an absolute nightmare to play against for defenders, isn't he? And the way that, you set up, as well as you played as a team today, he just spearheaded that. What does he give you? How good is he?
Well, he's one of the best strikers in the world, and certainly what he does is there's not too many better, John. I think that all different types of strikers, you see Harry drops in and he's wonderful at that and can shoot. But Jamie's strength is on the last line, threatening the back line. But you see his build-up play today at times when it had to come into his feet. His feet nice and soft, setting it off and going. But But I think his biggest thing, he has no ego. He put the work in. He's not frightened to do the dirty work. He runs, he presses. He's tactically very good in the game, and then when you're in pressure moments like the penalty, he sticks that away. And now he just must be horrible to play against as a centre half, knowing that he's running in behind you, across you, putting you under pressure. His movement is so clever, and it's why he is at this, level, and the most competitive league in the world, and he's right up there with the very best. So I can't speak highly enough of him. He's a great guy off the pitch, very professional, and a real catalyst for us.
You've gone up to second with this result, however long that lasts. What can you achieve? It's been so good so far this season. What can you achieve, and what's your ambitions now for the rest of the campaign beyond Christmas?
The ambition, John, is just to continue improving. I think that, listen, if you look at all the other teams, like Liverpool are an incredible team. They're the champions and are very strong. You look at Manchester City, you look at some of the other squads. Look at Chelsea's squad, and they're talking about Chelsea maybe being 2 or 3 years away from challenging after you spend £250 million. So for us, I'm just really pleased with the development of the team. I always felt that if we could sort of disrupt the market of the top 6, that was always going to be a huge challenge for us to be able to do that, and especially with the European campaign. So for us, we certainly won't get carried away. There's a lot of development to take place with our young players. But what we're showing is that they're learning and developing, and they get a little bump along the way, but we never lose our enthusiasm to improve and be better. So we'll see. We'll see. It's been a really good start for us. I'm satisfied with where we're at, but knowing that we can still make a lot of improvements.
Thanks so much. Have a good Christmas.
Cheers, John. You too.
All right, Rob Tanner, please.
Hi, Brendan. How you doing?
Hi, Rob. Good, thanks. Thank you.
You mentioned about the number of defenders now that are coming back from injury, and the lads we've seen out on the pitch today. But in their absence, how important has James Justine been to you, his development this season from his debut season last season?
But he's been remarkable, Rob. If you think where he's from, coming straight from League One into playing in the Premier League, and you think he had a specific job today on Son, who is so fast and so dynamic, and how he handled that well tells you how he's improving and maturing as a player. So he's been absolutely incredible from the moment Ricardo's gone out with the injury. He's played all over the pitch for me. He's never moaned. He's never talked about being tired. He gets up and down the line. He's aggressive. He's concentrated, and he's been absolutely incredible performer, and again another young player who's only going to get better.
Can you tell us a little bit about the specific job you asked him to do?
Yeah, but if you look at the left side of the pitch, that's where they're really strong. Reguilon runs on, and he plays from the inside. Son, and the thing that caught us out the last time we played here was that on counter-attack that space was too open. So I think when we were defending, we were asking Mark Albrighton, who again put in an incredible shift to look after Reguilon, and then when Son was on the inside, he could press him and be aggressive with him, or if it goes over the top, he can match his run because he's super fast as well, JJ. So I thought he did that very, very well. And then when we had to make the change, he then with Timothy coming off, he comes over and plays on the left side and does equally as well. So yeah, tactically he was very good, very concentrated, and he was a big player in our performance.
Thank you.
Okay,
Brendan.
Jerry Cox, please.
Cheers, Rob.
Hi, Brendan. Congratulations on your win today.
Hi, Jerry.
You've now won at Manchester City, Leeds, Arsenal, and now Tottenham. If you'd have won more of your home games instead of slipping up, you'd be comfortably top of the table. What accounts for that difference, do you think?
Well, listen, you go through every single team, and they would say every single team would say that there's games right the way through, and the opening 14 games is it we played, something like that. So you'll always nitpick and look at points where you could have gained, but yeah, that's my job to find that solution. We just teams that have sat in, and normally we've been very good at that in my time. But this season, because of certain players that have been out, the profile of our team, we haven't been able to manage to break down some teams. So that's improvement for us to make in the second part of the season. But listen, you're playing how we played today, and we know there's progress to make. When you can't win them all, but we certainly don't lose our enthusiasm, like I say, when we lose, and we just get on to the next game and look to win.
And would you expect Spurs to be still amongst the challengers come the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, it's only a loss. I think it's the only loss other than the first day of the season that they've had at home. You look at the quality that they have, you look at some of the performances they've had, then there's going to be a whole raft of teams. I think for us, can we hang in there against those big teams? The likes of Tottenham and Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea. And so for us, we try to hang in there as long as we can.
Thanks. Have a good Christmas.
Cheers. You too, Jerry.
Jordan Blackwell, please.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Jordan.
You won't have seen this stat possibly, but Wilfred Ndidi recovered the ball more times than any other player in any game this season, this afternoon. I know you've got a few, but is he one of the difference makers for your team?
Yeah, we've said all along that Papiss Mendy's come in and been outstanding in the games that he's played, and he's played in some big performances. But I think everyone who's watched us over the last few years, you see that the importance of Wilf. He's irreplaceable for us. What he does in the game, how he breaks the game up, his athleticism, his height for us in set pieces. He's a remarkable player. Just turned 24, and with still a lot of development to make. So that stat doesn't surprise me. He's everywhere. He reads the game so well, breaks it up, and then allows us to play.
Okay, Charlie White, please.
Hey, Brendan.
Hi, Charlie.
I know you've obviously praised the defence, but specifically when you're looking at the fact that you're up against Gareth Bale and Son and Kane, how much confidence do you think the team will take from playing such a strong lineup ahead of sort of going to a game against Man United, who are 4-0 up at the moment after 40 minutes? Do you think they'll get an extra bit of a confidence boost from today?
Yeah, I think whenever the team is concentrated and we've got the players available, then we can keep clean sheets. We know that. Like you say, we're playing against two players of a world-class level today, and the two boys you mentioned. But I thought our two centre-halves, Johnny Evans was outstanding, so it was great to have him back. And Wesley Fofana, who just turned 20 the other day, his performance was immense. So, but it's always a collective. To defend well, that starts at the top of the field. And for us, we'll recover, and we know that they're a fantastic team, Manchester United. But I think we've shown over the course of the season we can win big games and perform well.
Okay, finally, Jamie Weir, and then we'll end it.
Hello, Brendan. I just wanted to pick up on your fantastic answer to John Cross about Jamie Vardy. Do you feel with a home European Championship 6 months away that he gave up on international football too soon, that he would still have something to do for England? Or selfishly, from your point of view, are you quite happy that he's retired internationally?
Jamie, listen, it's not even a consideration. He made his decision a few years back. So yeah, and listen, England have top-class strikers like Harry Kane is world class. You look at Calvert-Lewin, who's doing terrific at Everton and really developing and improving. Marcus Rashford can play there as well. So they've got a wealth of talent. Jamie's at the age where he needed to manage his body like all top players do. And for him, he chose to come out of the international scene to give more chance to recovery, to prolong his club career. So it's happened for many players, and for him, we see the benefits of that.
Thanks, Brendan. Enjoy your Christmas.
Cheers, Jamie. You too.
Thanks, everyone. We'll end it there.
Guys.